Hello, I'm meteorologist Bruce Jones with Midland Radio Corporation here in Kansas City, Missouri, and I'm going to walk you through the basic setup of our WR120 radio. We're very proud of this radio. We're the nation's and the world's #1 manufacturer of weather radios. They're in widespread use in the United States and Canada, so let me help you get yours set up. Now, first of all, your primary source of power on a weather radio is the wall plug, but we're going to be putting in the backup batteries today to program, and so I'll leave it unplugged for now, but after you put in your backup batteries, program your radio, make sure you always keep it plugged into the wall. That's your primary source of power, and these batteries, they're just going to be backup in case your city power fails during a storm. So that's backup. Your primary source of power is the wall plug. Also, make sure the switch on the side is always on and never off. That switch has to be on because the radio's job is to silently monitor a broadcast from the National Weather Service. In order for it to do that job, it has to be plugged in and it has to be turned on. So you leave it turned on all the time, year-round. You never turn it off. In fact, if you turn this off, you basically have turned off weather radio, and this is nothing more than a white clock. So make sure it's always on and plugged in. Let's put in the batteries, and I'll show you how to program it for your location. You can set a weather radio to go off for one county or a couple of counties, but we really recommend that you just set it to go off for the particular county that you live in. That way you're not overwarned for things that really don't pertain to you. So put in 3 alkaline batteries. Do not use rechargeable batteries. Use alkaline or lithium batteries and no rechargeables in the unit. Once you put the batteries in, here in the display window it says set language. You can set this display window to show words in English, French, or Spanish. If you press the select button, the radio defaults to English, and so to confirm English, press the select button one more time. Next we see set location. This is where you're going to tell the radio what county you live in. So hit the select button. Your choices are any county, arrow up or down to get to single and multiple. So you can put it in a single county, multiple counties, or have it go off for any county. Now, I would not recommend that you have it go off for any county because it's going to go off for everything within 80 miles of where you live, and you don't want that. So let's just choose single. So I'll go up here, I'll just arrow down to single, and when it says single, I hit select. Now it says 01 empty. This radio has 25 slots for county codes, and it's telling you that slot number 1 is available and it's empty and it's ready to be programmed. So once again, hit the select button. Now we get into 2 menu items. It says USA, or if you arrow up or down, it'll also give you the option for programming the radio for Canada. So we're here in Kansas City, Missouri, so I'm going to program this for Jackson County, Missouri, which is where we are right now. So I'll pick USA, select. Now we have an alphabetical listing of all the states and territories of the United States, including American Samoa, Puerto Rico, Guam. I'll come down here to Missouri. There we go, Missouri, and then I'll hit select. Now I have an alphabetical listing of all the counties of Missouri, and so I'll come down into the middle of the list to Jackson County. You can either use the up arrow or the down arrow. You can come from the bottom of the alphabet upward, or you can come from the top of the alphabet downward. And I'm going top downward through all the counties of Missouri until I get to my county, Jackson. And once I stop there, I'll hit the select button. So now I've told the radio to only go off for warnings for Jackson County, Missouri. Next it says set time. So let's do that, set the clock. There is a clock in here. Push the select button, and then you can arrow up and change the hour. If you want to go from AM to PM, just go past the number 12 and it'll switch from PM numbers to AM. Keep going past the next 12 and it'll go back to the PM numbers or the AM numbers, whichever you prefer. Go over 1 digit and set the tens digit there as the numbers, and 1 more to set the minutes digit on the single minutes digit. Once you set your clock, hit select. Next item on the setup menu is set channel. The National Weather Service operates more than 1,000 transmitters nationwide that do the weather radio broadcast, nothing but weather information, and the Canadians have about 200 or 300 of their own. So we need to tell this radio to listen to the local transmitter that serves your area. There's 7 different frequencies, and when we hit select for set channel, press that select button, it'll allow us to go through and listen to the frequencies. Now generally, most of them are static until you get to the one that serves your area.
Johnson, Leavenworth.
And in Kansas City, Missouri, it happens to be channel number 7, 162.550. Could be one of 7 frequencies where you live. It doesn't matter. Just press the select button and you've locked that in. And that's the setup of the WR120. You're telling it what language you want to display in the window. You're telling it what county you live in, or in Canada, what section of the province you live in. And you're telling it which transmitter to listen to. So which channel does it need to listen to. And that's basic setup. Your location, the channel, the time, the language, that's 4 items and that's all you need to do. Once it's set up, plug it back into the wall, just set it there, and like a smoke detector, a weather radio, most of the year sits there silently. Doesn't make a sound, but it's doing its job. It's constantly monitoring this broadcast. If you want to listen to the broadcast, this big button, Weather Snooze, turns that little speaker on so you can listen. And it also turns that little speaker off so you can tell this radio to shut up and get back to sleep. So that's your listen and be quiet button. That's why we made it big, so it's easy to use. You just reach over and tap it to listen, you tap it to tell it to be quiet. But in normal mode, this weather radio silently monitors that broadcast. When they need to alert you, they'll send out an 8-second alert tone. It sounds like this. And then they'll come on and tell you why they've done that. The National Weather Service in Kansas City, Missouri has issued a tornado warning effective until 5/13. So it's totally automatic. As long as it's plugged in and turned on, it does that automatically. You don't need to push a button or be anywhere near it. Just leave it plugged in, turned on. The radio monitors their broadcast. If at any time you would like to listen to the broadcast, press that button. Otherwise, just leave it quiet like that, and this radio will monitor and keep you safe and sound. It's peace of mind for just a few pennies a day.